Hello, everyone, and welcome to this next episode of the Grateful Not Greedy podcast. I am one of your illustrious hosts. My name is Chris, and I am with one of my besties in the world, and her name is
Rachel. Hi, everybody.
Rachel. And first, I have to tell everyone a couple things before we start this episode, because we were recording a podcast recently, and our producer told us that we were wholesome. And we both just about lost it because I've never thought of myself as wholesome. I mean, okay, that's not fair. That doesn't sound right. That sounds terrible, actually. But right? Do you know what I mean?
I was like, wholesome.
Wholesome.
I thought of Holly Hobby for a minute.
I used to have this thinking bag. Okay. Yeah, no. I mean, I was like, wholesome? Like, what does that even mean, wholesome? So I was like, okay, if we're wholesome or not, maybe that's a good place to start this conversation about all things, everything, dating. So I'll just give you all a little bit of background. I, unfortunately, or fortunately, just for the point of this conversation, what I'm going to add is different from what Rachel's going to add, because Rachel has been dating like out there, like in the wild, like actually dating like real life people, like for real. And I have not, so I don't have the same kind of experience. But I have dated in my life. It's not like I've never been a dater. Yes, and I was, I was pretty good at dating. I think I had.
But the other side of it is having you here creates the conversation.
Good point. And I do have so much curiosity. And
yes.
All that too.
And that is like the one that we share that commonality. We're both very curious people.
Completely.
And, you know, a lot of the times, like you'll say, I don't know if I could do what you're doing, Rachel.
Completely.
And I'm like, I know.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I'll start just by saying, so Rachel and I have known each other for a really long time, and we have kind of an interesting way that we know each other, but we've worked together. We've just known each other in a lot of different ways. So when it came to the point when she was going to start dating, I'd never known you as a dater.
That's true.
Right. I never knew you as a dater. I only knew you as
a married.
As a girlfriend, a fiance, a married person. Yeah. You know, just I knew you later.
A married person forever.
Yeah, right, exactly. I knew you later in life. I didn't know you like in college or whatever. I never knew you as a dater. So it's kind of interesting. I mean, this is kind of cool, too, if you think about it. Some of you probably have, girlfriends or your guy friends who are going through different transitions in their life, and they might find themselves dating again. And then it's like you get to see a whole new side of this person that you know very well. I mean, I think I know you really well.
Yes, you do.
But you get to see another whole evolution, I feel like, in the dating world. Because it's true. And you'll talk about it more specifically, but it's an environment that is not replicable in any other way. You just can't get out what you can get from. It's kind of like being married. I would say is the same thing. If you're married or in a committed relationship or have some kind of significant other, there are elements of those relationships that bring out aspects that cannot be deciphered in any other way.
So true,
right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start talking a little bit about, because one of the things that we want to talk about, because again, we are Grateful Not Greedy podcast, so something's grateful, something's greedy, and we're going to, kind of hash it all out here. So in the dating conversation, I can speak for some of my friends or some experience. I'll tell a funny story first. Okay. This is hilarious. Okay, so this is probably what I know about dating. I have a friend who's, one of her friends got divorced, sadly, and she was, it wasn't like her choice. She was upset about it. I think they had a couple kids, the usual. Normal situation. It's sad though. It's like, it's a sad situation. So anyway, she's going to start dating, and she goes out on her first date with this guy. Really good guy. My friend's like, he's a really great guy, whatever. They go on their first date, and they're sitting there, and they sit down to dinner. And what happens? Do you know what happens?
No, I have no idea.
She starts bawling.
Oh, no. I did not have one of those.
She can't even get to it. She just starts crying. And she had to, leave the table, and, the whole thing. It was, this whole scene. And then she had to leave. She couldn't stay through it. So I'm bringing this up to say, it's a funny story because you can imagine if you're the people sitting next to them at the restaurant.
What's going on?
that shark smack.
Yeah.
But it's funny to think about, like, there's so much emotion tied to this dating thing, whether you're coming at it because maybe you're, older, maybe you've never been married, maybe you have had a couple of relationships, maybe you're divorced, maybe you're whatever, who knows what you're in the dating thing for, and you're on the apps or you're doing whatever you're doing. And then you have to contend with so much emotion. I think, from my perspective, so much rawness of your own, like, you got to deal with your big bad self, like, really quickly.
It makes you confront things in a very, very different way.
Yeah. So
and you do see parts of yourself that you would never see before. And I like the analogy you used. Like, it's like no one can tell you about being married until you're married.
Yeah.
And then the same thing, like, to go back out, I'm divorced now, and it's been years, and I'm like, okay, I gotta get out there and like see what this is, and I'm not sure what I want, but the only way to find out is by dating. And the only way to get better at dating is by dating.
Oh my God, it's terrible. It's like the worst news ever.
I know. So people are like, I hate dating, and I was like, well, then this is going to be really bad, because then you're going to always hate it,
and you're going to suck at it.
Yeah. Because then you're like, I hate this. Yeah. And so there's a couple of ground rules that I've like kind of come up with that have helped me move through this.
Okay, but wait, what are the problems, first of all, before you tell me, like,
like how I approached it, like walking into it.
Okay, but if you're someone, what would I anticipate if I'm going to go on my first date or
even before you go on the date, but like entering the idea, like entertaining the idea of dating.
Okay.
Right? Like, so like you're like, okay, I'm going to date.
This is the setup.
Yes, this is the setup.
Okay.
Yeah, this is not even like I'm going on a date. You're like,
this is nice. This is kind of like a guidebook. Yeah. Like a little bit of a how-to.
Yeah,
like the life according to Rachel.
Yeah. I mean, like, okay, now let me tell you, I'm still learning. I'm not quite practiced yet. But this is helpful. Like, first thing is, like, you've got to frame it right. Like, the only way I'm going to get better at dating is by dating.
Oh, God.
It's like a skill.
Okay, hold on. That's the grateful right there, because that is accepting what is. That is massively accepting what is. You do not get to be a dater or get into a relationship. I mean, every once in a while, I guess there's a relationship that just kind of like happens. That you barely have with like 2 dates, and then you're married for 25 years and whatever.
Like, everything's amazing.
Maybe. Yeah,
it's great.
That happens.
Amazing.
Most of the time.
And you know what? Pleasantly surprised if that happens.
Yeah.
But I'm going to walk in assuming that this is going to take a little bit of time. Because now it's been my adult life I haven't dated. It's been 25 years that I haven't dated.
And you got married relatively at a youngish age. Yeah.
I haven't dated since my early 20s.
Right.
How would I know how to do this now?
You have no idea.
There's no idea.
Right.
Like, it's like,
and you're not in your 20s anymore. So it's
changed.
like those are totally different.
Like, hello, like there's no online dating.
Right.
Like, it was not existent.
Yep. You're a different person.
I'm a different person.
Is a different thing.
Everything's different.
So
that's the setup. So I have to accept, like, I have to be like, okay, I have to be open to that. And the next thing I have to realize is, like, in order to do that, I have to view it like I'm going to 31 flavors.
Oh, I was going to say the grocery store. Like, do I want potatoes or do I want like ice cream?
You're asking, do you want potatoes or ice cream? I'm like, you go to like 31 flavors and they're like, hey,
do we have 31 flavors anymore? You should like not date yourself so much. Seriously.
Fine. We're going to
salty straw. What's up?
I don't have that in Hawaii. I have no idea.
Okay. So we're going to some place that you can, yogurt where you can mix your own, like, that's a good one. Yogurt, because you can put on all your own toppings or whatever. Like you can make this.
But even before you put on your toppings, you have to decide what's going to go in the cup.
Yeah, true.
Okay. And how do you decide what goes in your cup? And some people like so you start, and usually the first flavor is vanilla. So you're like, oh, vanilla. And you try it and you're like, oh, vanilla tastes really great.
Yeah,
I like vanilla.
That's great.
Awesome. Yeah. And then some people might just get vanilla and leave. Which is fine. But then you have all these other flavors.
Where this is going. I cannot wait to hear like the line of logic that's coming from this.
So then you have all these other flavors. Like, how do you know you don't like chocolate? How do you know you don't like pralines and cream? How do you know you don't like strawberry?
This is a dangerous conversation already.
It is. But the question is you're dating. And the whole purpose of dating is to date.
Yes. Okay.
And to like experience it and to try it. And I'm not saying like date everybody. And I'm not saying have multiple relationships at the same time and all that stuff. I'm saying like you have to be open and like how do I know what I like? I have no idea what I like. Okay. I've never been to the yogurt shop since I was in my early 20s. Like, I don't even know. all, right?
Yeah, and there's probably like 18 different toppings that you didn't even know existed.
Exactly.
And they have a whole way of mixing things now
They
that you don't even know.
You just don't know.
So yeah, this is really important.
Here's the thing is like you have to go in curious. And maybe some people are just like, vanilla's great. And they're like, don't need to be. I'm someone who is a curious person. And so I'm like, okay, now I'm curious. And it doesn't mean like, no, I have certainly like honed in on a person, dated them for a while. Like, and that is important. And that's part of the dating process.
Oh,
and like,
gosh,
here's the funny thing.
Honestly, I'm like thinking about, first of all, I'm thinking, okay, but if I like vanilla,
why should I try any other flavors?
Yeah. Can I stay with vanilla or am I getting ahead of myself? Am I hurting my chances?
Okay, so this is
like what?
This is a really
because
good
I like
point.
vanilla means I like ice cream. But if you don't try vanilla, like you don't go on the date, you don't even give yourself a chance to like vanilla.
Yeah, even. You don't even get to try the yogurt. You don't even get to have yogurt. But then the other side is like you really do have to approach this as like in abundance, not scarcity.
Oh, yeah.
So you're like, if I try vanilla, like what? And it's like no. The one thing I tell myself all the time is I'm a good person.
Yes.
And I'm out there dating.
This is very true.
And I'm not the only person like me. So there's another person like me out there dating. And so, yes, like maybe I will try flavors I don't like. It's totally fine. It's about the experience of trying the
flavors.
Doesn't mean
bad flavors. It's just not right for you.
But I know that if I'm out there and someone else is, I'm not that unique. Right? Like I am yes, I'm a unique person.
Yeah, exactly.
But do you know what I mean? Like if I'm a good person,
trying to say,
if I'm a good person and I'm out there, then there's another good person out there.
Yeah. Okay. Like I appreciate what you're saying because this is what I've said for decades about people like, oh, I don't want to meet that guy at a bar. I don't want to meet someone. Why am I going to go to a bar?
Sure.
Like I'm not going to meet anyone at a bar. It's like, well, because there might be someone just like you who's kind of saying the same thing and getting dragged by their buddy to the bar. And they're like, let's just go sit and have a Coca-Cola at the bar or whatever. And there's another person there. And guess what? That guy or girl is also at the bar. It's just like incidental.
It is incidental. And you just never know, like, all the opportunities that you can connect and meet people.
Right.
And
I'm sure
that's like, true. As soon as you can shift your mindset to that, I've had more people come up to me. I have more people like say things. And it's just like, and I don't like, nothing's ever happened that way. But it's like, once you walk in with that attitude, it shifts things.
Yeah.
But to walk in and date with like, I don't walk in thinking there's no one out there. When I get into dating, I don't think, and I hear this all the time, like dating is terrible. It sucks. It's terrible. There's no one out there. And I'm like, how do you know? Have you seen everybody out there?
Totally.
Like,
and I'm not maybe as nice as you because I would just be like, well, who are you?
Okay. See,
and so not like, who are you? Like, but like, who are you? Like, there are some really great people in the world.
Exactly.
And it would be awesome if you could find one of them or at least show them how amazing you are. And then, like, that would inspire other people too.
But here's the other thing. Everyone's saying, like, I'm looking for the one. And it's like, maybe it's just not one.
Oh.
Right? Like, maybe your purpose out here is to meet a bunch of people, to make new connections, just to connect people. And then also to figure out, like, what is it you want? I truly believe dating, every time you date, it moves you closer to what you're looking for.
Yeah, this is great. Grateful, not greedy. It's in the contrast.
It's in the contrast. Like you have to try it and not like it to try again, right? Until
grateful for the opportunity. Yes, grateful, not greedy that it's not the one. Yes. Grateful for the opportunity. Grateful for the opportunity. Yeah.
And I do believe every person I have met through dating in various ways has given me something.
Yeah.
And in return, I have also given them something.
I would agree with that.
It is a mutually beneficial experience. Now, is everyone happy in the end? There might be some greed.
Yeah,
understood. Right?
Yes. But you might be like capital greed for like a couple minutes there. Like, but sure. It's natural. It's going to happen like that.
It's natural, but it is that this is part of it.
Yeah.
Right. And so you walk in thinking, okay, I'm here to experience this. It's not. There's an abundance of people in this world, and it's not scarcity. I think when we feel scarcity, we, get greedy.
Yes,
it
totally.
breeds greedy.
Completely.
Like nowhere else, right? Like,
there's no one out there. Yeah.
That the scarcity piece and just being curious and open.
Yeah.
If you walk around with curiosity, you see more. Like if you're curious about things, you start to notice things.
Okay, this brings up, I think, a really relevant point. I was just being told recently to speak better, that you're not supposed to say I think. And one of the courses that I took in my very significant nursing training for English, and he said, you don't say I think, you just state the fact, state what you're saying, because obviously they know it's you who's saying it, so they know that it's you who thinks this.
Yeah, you're wasting the words. Okay.
This is a good point, Rachel. This is a really good point. So you're talking about what comes up for me is the checks all the boxes. Oh, this person checks all the boxes. This person didn't check the boxes. Or they don't have this and they don't have that, or it's not like this, or not whatever. And this is the scarcity, not doesn't have the looks I want, doesn't have the job I want, doesn't have the eloquence that I would like, doesn't have the family situation that I would like, doesn't live in the city that I would prefer and lives 20 minutes out of town. I don't know. But what about that? Like, is that just scarcity? Like, what is that? The box checking stuff.
The box checking, I mean, there's a lot wrapped in that.
Yeah, I don't know. You're probably a box checker. I mean, I don't know.
I'm a list person. Like, I love lists. And, I was given a good advice to make a man map of, like, what is it you want? Like, map it out so you can, like, make a list of, like, so you can start to do.
What is a man? I must know this. What is a man map? I obviously can't do it. My husband would be mortified. But if I were to think about what would a man map,
so
what does that look like? I guess you could do a woman map too.
The idea is you manifest it, right?
Okay.
So if you write it down, and it's like the process of manifestation, you write it down and you're like manifestation. Your man map is your manifestation.
Okay.
So you can make a man map or like make that list, and you could check boxes if you want.
Okay,
but what you do know though is your man. Like, as you date, you start to filter things out because you're like, that is not important. That is very important.
Oh, I see.
I never thought of that. And I actually really like that. And I'm going to add that on. Like, I never thought that would be a value or an important quality. And I had no idea how much that meant to me. And all of a sudden, like, it starts to shift and evolve based on your experiences. And there's no way to have that experience unless you're out there dating.
Right.
And like, open to the possibilities and curious. And certainly I don't walk in and be like, I'm going on a date and this guy's going to be like the end all be all for me.
Right. Do you sometimes, though? Is there sometimes you feel like there's a little spark or a little something, and then you're like, you kind of...
Of course there is.
Do that whole dance?
Of course. There has been that.
Because that's actually interesting too. I didn't think about it just now.
But that's both
sides. But that's both sides. Like, if you think that you can have that on the I don't want to say perfection, but like on the side that's giving you closer to what you think, then there's also has to be elements of the other side that you're missing, when there's
true. And that's where you stay curious. Like, I had been on a couple dates with this guy. He was a really amazing guy, and he seemed to like check my boxes. Like, check my boxes. Like,
I love it.
Fit the manifestation map, like whatever we're calling it.
Yeah, that's now we're gonna say. So check your boxes equals met the manifestation map.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So, fulfilled the manifestation map.
But there was like it's like. Everybody says, like, the spark, you're really drawn. And I was like, well, maybe this is like a slower one. Like, let's see this. Like, there's nothing stopping me. Be curious.
Right.
And like, I'm here to learn something. I'm here to gain something. I'm here to experience this. And I'm very honest about like what I was like, yeah, this is what dating is for me. Like, I'm trying to figure this out. And of course, yes, it would be great to meet someone that I'd love to spend my time with or like, invest in a long-term relationship or whatever it is. But then the other side of it is I'm also okay if it doesn't. Because I am okay if it doesn't.
Right.
Oh, okay.
I am
okay
very important.
If it doesn't.
Yes.
And so again, I'm not coming in with scarcity mindset.
Mm-hmm.
I'm coming in with like, this could be a nice addition. I'd love it. And it's not necessary.
Yeah.
Right. And I get it. Not people are in different phases. I'm in a very different phase of my life right now. So I come from a different space.
Okay. Different from before or different from other people, you mean?
Like, I mean, if you're dating at 30 and you want to have a family, there's a timeline and a time crunch. I'm not there.
Correct.
I'm in a different phase of my life.
Understood. Yeah.
And so this could apply or not apply to you. But imagine, even if you do have that idea of like, oh, I want to get married by this time so I can have kids and blah, blah, blah. Like, if you walk in with that and you walk in with the idea of scarcity, like, this is very limited, I don't have a lot of time, you're creating that anxiousness that like,
Yes,
like, oh my gosh, you're
off.
giving that off.
And that's probably a turnoff too. It probably
I would
creates
imagine
this.
on a woman map, it wouldn't be on the list.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, I want someone who's anxious and, like, concerned or bullying me on our first date about everything. Yeah.
So I find that, whatever like everybody talks about, like whatever you put out is what you get back. In dating, I really do believe that. And here's the thing. Whatever you put out, like if you're going to be superficial, you're going to have superficial dates.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Okay.
If you are going to be, if you're going to be authentic, you're going to have an authentic date. And like maybe they won't meet you, but then you'll be very clear that they're not willing to be authentic.
Right.
Right. So whatever it is, like if you're going to be curious in your date and the other person meets you in curiosity, awesome.
Then that's awesome. Yeah.
Right. But if you're the curious one and they're the non-responsive, like pulling.
Totally.
Like then you're like, okay, this is like not, and I'm not forcing it. I'm like, okay, now I have the information. But it's like gathering information. So I think of this almost like I am collecting data.
Yeah, you're like a little detective over there.
Like I'm collecting
what am
data.
I going to do with this clue? And
I know,
clue?
like what is this? Like what is this giving me? And like this is what, as humans, you could also put it in this way, is we're all just dating each other.
What do you mean? As people?
As people.
Oh, that's probably true.
Right? So how do you make friends?
Right.
Well, you plan something with them.
Exactly.
That's a date.
That's a date.
You call a friend, you text a friend, and I'm sure have you ever had this? Like someone you want to hang out with and you're like, oh, should I text my
I don't
friend
know
I
what
met?
to do.
Like, I don't know what to do.
Weird.
Same thing with the date.
Thing, it's a date.
Same
You're
thing.
right.
You
Totally
don't want to
right.
be, you don't want to be rejected.
Friend you met.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
That actually, so if we can reframe it and we're like, we're just dating everyone.
Yeah.
Some of them have different ingredients in them, but we're all just dating each other. And the only way friendship works is if you guys give each other time and like show up for one another and all that stuff.
Yep. And get to know each other and see if you match and see like all that kind of stuff. And then you're like, friends, end up being that.
And your friends grow apart. You grow apart from friends because you change, you know, and like you can like be dating someone and then it's like you grow apart and it also changes. Yep. Like same with that. So we're all dating each other. So if you can frame it in that sense, it's not as scary.
Okay. So I'm always thinking, not always, but I'm definitely thinking about it now. When you go on a date, what drives me crazy, among many other things in life, but what drives me crazy about dating or even people getting married or trying to find a partner or something is that when they're going out with that person, and that's what I was asking about checking the boxes, and there's all these things that they're like, well, he's not this, he's not that, or she's not this, or doesn't have that. And I'm thinking, if I'm on the other side of that, I already don't like you. Do you know what I mean? Like, I already don't like you. If it's like, if I'm showing up like what you're saying, and I'm just like a normal person, minding my own business, being curious, open to you, right? And I show up and I sit there. And by the way, what I like to remind everyone in the world is that behind you are coming in with all these, qualifications that you need from me. And then I may or may not have a couple things that I'd love to see in you. But don't forget, I have a family and I have like friends behind me and I have like this whole life behind me that supports me and loves me. And like, most people have like at least a couple people in their corner that think they're awesome. Yeah, right? Sure. So it's like kind of, I feel like when you're on these dates, you can channel that a little bit. This person is not here to prove him or herself to you. No. That's not what's going on here.
No,
this person already has a lot of people who think that they're, great or at least worth spending, time to have dinner with or whatever. And you coming in with your judgments and your this and your that and has to be this or has to be that, or giving other people credence because they have more clout or more status or more something, than this person. I find it very unfair. And to your point, though, I think you miss a great opportunity of learning more about yourself because you've already told yourself, I don't like this. I don't like that. I don't like these 14 things, and I really need him to be this, this, and this. And you haven't even expanded your possibility into what you might like that you don't even know.
Well, and that's why you have to keep trying all the flavors, right?
Yeah.
Like that's where the idea of like you don't know. You don't know. And here's the other side of it though. Like, yes, to your point, like if someone's, they meet you and they're like, oh, wait, I don't want to, like, she doesn't check the box because she has too many kids or like her kids are too young or whatever.
Right.
And that's actually okay though. Like, but
yeah, okay, I understand your point.
Right?
Yes,
like, tell me, like, let's not carry this on. Like, if it's not going to work for you.
Can't you figure that out in a couple texts?
Maybe, yes, maybe. I don't know. I mean, there's other things that we could check the box.
I'm more thinking like the more maybe superficial things.
It could be the superficial, and it could be the ones like, oh, I want him to have a better career or whatever.
Yeah, I want him to be 6 foot whatever, and
he has to be over this. All those things for sure. And like, I just had a girlfriend tell me the other, she's like, how old do you date? And I was like, oh, just like, a couple of years older than me, and I don't think I date. I'm not really interested in guys that are younger. It's just not my thing. And she's like, well, why don't you go just a little bit older? Like, there's a lot that happens in the mid 50s that like really shifts people. And I was like, I don't know why I'm like so stuck on that. And I was like, okay, fair enough, I'll try it. Like there was nothing wrong with that, but it was some weird boundary I created.
Yeah,
and arbitrary. I was like, arbitrary. And so then I was like, yeah, okay, she challenged me, sure, why not? Here's the one thing that as I'm saying this, it's so helpful when you're dating to have a friend that's also dating.
Oh, so, yes.
Like,
I can
let me just put that out there because, like, when I got divorced, I didn't have any single friends. Right.
And it can be very isolating.
It can be isolating. And that shifted over time. And then more people came into my life and like things shift constantly.
Right.
I'm grateful for that. And now I have one girlfriend, two, depending on like who's dating, like who's out there dating or who's not. But those are the ones I can lean into and that understand, like, sometimes it's hard and, like, sometimes you catch yourself falling into old habits and, like, all of those things
that you don't want.
That you don't want.
Yeah.
And are, like, things that you're like, I know that's, like, a trait that I did not like in my previous partner. And here I am, like, pulling it in again. Like, what is that about? What am I, why am I dragging? Why is that happening?
Yeah.
What am I creating for that? And so having someone who's in it, they don't have to be actively dating, but they, in the, like,
it helps that they understand the experience.
The recent experience.
And a little bit like how these apps work.
Not like someone else, I dated before I got married. Okay, great. Now this is like, I want you to be dating right around now.
Just like stripped me of my whole relevance.
No. But that,
I totally understand.
All my friends are super helpful. I mean, you get my messages all the time.
Totally.
Like, I'm like, Chris, so I did this and that, so I still lean on you for that.
That's people stuff. But I totally appreciate what you're saying because it's just like what you were saying about you can't really understand what it's like to be married or whatever if you haven't been married and you it's the same thing. Like you can't, if you're in it and you are really active in that dating process, you can appreciate it much better.
And that's as you appreciate it. Like you cheer the other person on.
Yeah. Oh,
like
okay.
It's like the cheerleader because like at some point one of you is going to be like this, like I just can't like
I'm done.
I'm done. And I was like, okay, definitely take a break. I'm like, don't keep pushing if you need it. But the other side of it is like, but look at what you've gotten from this. Look what clarity, look what information.
Right. Yep.
Like you are not repeating your old habits, your old behaviors. Like you are creating different situations for yourself. And it's going to be challenging because it's new and it's change and it's different and growth is never easy.
Right.
So like, I'm in there, I'm on the sidelines cheerleading you on saying, take a break, mind your energy. If you're feeling depleted, like get yourself back, back to normal. And then like, don't give up.
Don't give up.
Right? Like still believe, trust, and that I'm out there. I'm a good person. Someone else is like me out there and they're a good person.
Right.
And there are so many amazing people in this world. Like, and so I'm sitting here and I'm like, I've made some really amazing friends through dating.
Right.
Because we weren't
opposite
a match.
sex friends.
Opposite sex. Yeah. Okay. Guys that I've like dated.
Yeah.
And
what's dated? Like gone on a couple dates or something? Like
either a couple dates or even like I've a friend like that we started texting and he's like, I'm just not ready. And we've now agreed to be friends. And it's like awesome. Because actually I'm like, I think we'd actually be better as friends.
Right.
I mean,
you're not that good with that many people in a relationship. I don't think.
Exactly. But there was something about him that I enjoyed. But I was like, oh, I bet that's like probably more of like I would enjoy because he likes the same things I do, not because he's going to be a good partner for me,
right?
And
exactly. Maybe like those values don't line up, but we can go play tennis together,
And so there we go. I'm like, great, and yes, there's someone I dated for like 6 months, and we still remain friends, and it's awesome because like I view it if I date someone, and it doesn't work out for whatever reasons, timing, alignment, like whatever. I like them enough to date them. So I like them enough to have them as a friend. Like if I'm dating you, I must like you as a human.
I see. Okay.
And if it's not going to work out, it's just like, it's not working out. But if you're able and if you're open to it, you can create some really beautiful friendships. And during that time when you're dating, I end up sharing a lot,
with the other person.
With the other person.
Yeah,
and I learn a lot about them. And we can still support one another. And not that it's like, some people say, oh, it's unhealthy to have those. And I was like, there's nothing there left. Like, there's
I'm one of those people.
I know.
No, I don't say it's unhealthy, but I just have a different opinion.
Yeah. And that's okay. Yeah. And this is like,
this is where like I would match with someone who, like, to your point, yes. I would be out there and I'd be like, oh, you and I share this thing. So we were not going to have an issue because we agree.
Yeah.
So it's like, great.
And that's like, and that is also like an important piece.
Yeah.
So this experience of dating has not just been like, I'm just out there dating so I can meet a partner for a long-term committed relationship,
right.
Or whatever it is you're looking for.
Yeah,
you're looking for a person.
Like fill void here.
The benefits, like what I've gotten from it, what I'm grateful for. And certainly there have been greedy moments, definitely tears and frustration and like questioning and all of that. Like that comes into it.
And why can't he be this? Yes. Why is he all this and not that? And where is like, this?
Why does it have to be this way?
Why does it have to be hard?
That will come up. But the gratitude part is like, I have learned so much. Like,
and you've evolved.
And I have evolved.
I would say you've evolved a lot.
And I would say that I'm actually getting better at dating.
Oh, yes. Well, because you're like, to your point always is, it's practiced or unpracticed.
Yes.
And dating is a skill, just like anything else. And it's a skill just as much for you to develop being good at dating. It's not like, oh, I date a lot, so I'm going to get better at it. No, it's a skill that you, in terms of even selection, maybe you have a different way of texting in the beginning that gets you closer to the kind of person you want on the other side by the time you're actually going out with them or whatever it is, right? I feel like there's all these elements that all good. There's got to be like it's trying to be a little learning curve in the beginning.
And there's so much to learn along the way. And it's just, it causes discomfort and it causes growth and it causes all those things that fuel me, right?
Yeah. And, that's an important part though too. Just to say, if you're someone who doesn't like, looking under the hood of yourself a little bit, and
this would be very rough.
It would be really rough because you're going to be exposed to the parts of you that you love and the parts of you that maybe you didn't know existed, or maybe you don't love, or maybe you've been hiding from, or whatever it is, because you're going to be in environments. You're not going to be in an environment now where you've been with the same person for, 35 years and, you've learned to accept that whole person. Now you're being challenged. They don't have to accept anything.
True.
And they might even bring stuff up to you that you didn't ask for, didn't ask for their opinion about. And you have to be ready for that. I think you just kind of have to be ready for a lot emotionally, probably. Yeah. Like you have to be emotionally probably mature to get the most out of it.
You do. And, you'll figure it out as you go along, but give yourself a lot of grace and patience. Like it is a skill and it is something.
That word grace, give yourself, I'm always like, I don't think I could. But
it's just like,
I would just be like, I'm not giving myself 1 minute of grace. I'm just going to I would be, I'm like, I'm out of here. Like this is awful.
And this is where.
So it's encouraging because honestly.
It is. And I actually, a friend of mine said her other friend needed to date, right?
Okay.
And she was afraid of doing it. And she was worried and she didn't know how to start. And she's like, can you share some words with me? And I was like, okay, great. And I send a text and then I think about it more and I send another one and I send another one. And so my friend puts it in a document, gives it to her friend who's afraid of dating. And her friend prints it out, hangs it up in her bathroom and reads it every day as reminders, right?
Oh, like a mantra of sorts, or
here are the things, be curious, and this is a part of a practice, a skill. This is not something someone's like, oh, I'm really bad at dating. Well, no, none of us arrived here good at dating.
No, that wasn't part of the canal shoot.
Yeah, exactly.
No, you're a good dater,
and it's not taught in school. So
that's true too. The only way you're good at it in school is if you're good socially.
Exactly.
If you're good socially, then that's that is,
but
different
that
people
doesn't
have
mean
different
you're
skills.
like good at dating. You're just good at like,
but no, I mean,
maybe meeting people or whatever. It's kind of this interesting thing. So this for me has been, it's not just about the experience of like finding whatever it is I'm looking for. It's the experience of like, what do I get out of this? And
actually, that's kind of cool too, because now that's a little bit of greedy grateful. Like, because it's greedy, like, what am I getting out of this?
Mm-hmm.
But what you're getting out of that is what to be grateful for. Right? So you can say, when you're in this situation, you can say what's in it for me. I don't always love that whole thing, but I think it's awesome in this situation to say, like, if I'm going to go out there, I think you've done such an amazing job of this whole process, truly. I mean, it's just been amazing to watch, just because it's a difficult process and there's so many ups and downs, but you've been so open and willing to learn about yourself, to conquer the next task, to, open your mind to whatever it is that might be that, whatever is.
Yeah.
This is grateful, not greedy. Whatever is.
It is.
You cannot wish it away. You cannot change it for something else. Lord knows there was 100 ways to Sunday that we wanted the situation to go differently. It didn't. So here, this is the grateful, not greedy part. So the even to look at it now in the whole process, if you can say, what's in it for me? Well, what's in it for you to be out dating is a lot. And it's way more than it's like sitting on your couch. There's way more out there than is what's sitting on your couch.
Yeah. And it forces you to connect with people.
Yes.
And like,
be a human. Be a human. Have a human experience.
Is being human.
Yeah.
Right. And we long for it. And in this day and age, there's a lot less connection.
Yeah.
And so dating has widened my world, and I think that's awesome. And, I know it can be scary, and I know like there's hard times about it, and then like, you can get frustrated, but I approach it of like, with a positive attitude of like, wow. And like, wow, it's kind of nice we have different ways of dating these days.
Right. Yeah.
Like, it's not just like go to the bar and pick up on someone.
Oh, that's a good point.
Like, we have lots of ways of dating now, and you pick them out, and they're tools. They're not solutions. They're tools.
Okay. Like what? What do you mean by that?
So online dating, it's a tool.
Okay.
It's not a solution. So it's a tool.
Most people would say it's not a solution, but yes,
I know,
it is.
But people use it as a solution.
Oh,
right.
Oh,
do you follow what I mean?
Yes,
and so they use it as a solution,
and then they blame it,
and then they blame
for
it
being a terrible solution. When it's not a solution, it's a tool
to widen your area, widen your opportunity for connection, widen your scope,
right? And
then the rest of it still falls on you,
right?
And so there you go, practice it,
right? Yeah, the rest of it falls on you, even like your profile and your this and like all that stuff falls on you. Yeah. Okay. So now if we're going to frame this whole conversation into, I think we should do a follow-up, because
there's so much here.
Oh my gosh, because what I'm going to need is what's the worst dating story? What's the best dating story?
Gosh.
The
first dates I ever went on.
Yes.
That's so funny.
How do you feel like so lame?
Oh my gosh, those first dates, I had to leave the country to do them. I went to Australia to have my first dates because I had wanted no ties to it at all.
I can't even be my own country. I know. Thousands of miles. I'm surprised you're even doing them in English.
I know. That's true.
Next time you're just going to skip over. It's like it's straight to Thailand.
I know, exactly.
I mean, it is. It's hilarious. I imagine it would just be really scary. So we'll do a follow-up to have all the other stuff. But to frame the conversation, just, to close this part out and thinking about dating, online dating, in person, whatever kind of dating.
Getting fixed up, all that
there.
Stuff.
Getting fixed up. Yeah, exactly. I think what's coming from this is being grateful for the opportunity to say yes.
Yeah.
Yes is the answer.
The opportunity to grow.
Yeah.
The opportunity to get some new skills. The opportunity to meet people.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many opportunities. And looking at it from there's no one out there, it's terrible and it sucks.
And I hate the apps and I hate this. And I'm tired of this.
It's going to be that way if you say it's that way, and you're going to attract that.
Yeah.
And there's so many things about it that I've learned so much from that I never thought.
You're kind of a poster child for dating. I feel like a poster woman for dating, because it's true. I mean, I think you've done a really good job. It's not like you went out and said oh, you know what? I'm going to be a scientist. No, you got thrown into being a dater.
Yes.
You got thrown into being a dater and you said, okay, I'm going to take this dating thing and I'm going to turn it on its head and I'm going to make it work for me.
Yes.
And I'm going to show up grateful for the opportunity. I'm going to show up, curious. I'm going to show up. I'm not going to sit and endlessly text with this person when they can't even commit to showing up in front of me. Like, I'm going to get myself in front of people. I'm going to have a human experience and I'm going to let it be whatever it is.
Yes.
And that's the grateful. Like, that is a grateful. I'm going to let that be whatever it is. What the greedy part is, what would you say? The greedy part is like, what's the trap? Like the greedy trap in this conversation?
This one, and I haven't fallen in this one, but there's endless options.
Oh,
right.
Yes, that is a trap.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so, part of it why I can't fall is I live in a small island. There's not endless options. We call it a dating puddle, not a dating pool. So it's hard to fall in that one.
Yes, exactly. But you do have a lot of fly-in life.
Yeah, you do. And there's obviously you could still fall in that even there.
Yes.
But the idea of being greedy, this one's good, but what else? What if someone else is good out there? And it's
rather than investing
and diving in and saying is this what can I get from this? Is this person a good match for me, or are they just am I interested because we like similar things?
Right. And how what match they're giving is our are we reciprocating?
Exactly. And so the greediness can be that there's always more.
Yeah.
It's all you can eat, and I'm no, it's not.
The always more. You said the scarcity thing is definitely a trap.
Yes.
Of there's no one's out there.
No one's out there.
That's the greedy of there's one way for this to be. There's one way for this to exist, and the way it exists is like a freaking Disney movie, right? I go out and I meet this guy, and he's amazing, and he checks all my boxes, and he wants to commit after X amount of days, whatever days I said,
and you date him, and he doesn't, so that's okay. But if it happens, great. If it doesn't, also
right. And that doesn't have to be the end goal.
You're not going to know unless you try.
Right. Yeah.
It's not going to just you got to try.
Yeah. And you can't be greedy. You can't be greedy on that. And I love so many things that you said, and especially the whole concept of you're out there. Rachel is out there. There has to be another male Rachel in your case. You're looking for a male Rachel. There has to be someone who can match what you want and what you bring. And it's just a matter of opening yourself up to finding that person. If you have to go to Australia, if you have to, take a trip to Indiana, which I tell people all the time, I'm go to Indiana. There's such nice people there. I would literally fly into Indianapolis, turn my app on and be who's with me,
I love that.
But it's just kind of opening yourself up to possibilities.
Open to the possibilities.
What is there, and not being greedy of I can only have it my way, in this way.
Absolutely.
It can only be these boxes. It can only be in this state. This person needs to live here, whatever it is.
Because the possibilities are endless.
Yeah.
And I truly believe we are powerful humans. And if you and someone else want to make something happen, you can make that happen.
Oh, that's Rumi. What you seek is seeking you, right? So that's a really good way to look at it too, right? So you have this honing thing going on, and that other person in due time and whatever alignment's coming is also seeking you.
Exactly.
So you cannot get found usually on your couch.
Yeah. No. Yeah. You got to make it possible.
Well, you got to go to maybe on your Australian couch.
I don't know. Maybe.
Okay.
All right. So we have more of these coming up.
Yes,
because
we're going to have to
this is an interesting topic.
It's an interesting topic. It's a big topic. And I think it covers a lot of bases of not only the dating relationship, but the relationship that you can expand to your friends, to your mom, to your sister, to your brother, to whatever it is. I think there's a lot of elements that crossover. So, okay. So this has been... is and will forever be the Grateful Not Greedy podcast. Thank you for coming along with us, Rach. This was edifying, really, I have to say, because I've been here actually for this whole journey, and I feel like I just learned a lot today. So
I was actually a little nervous about this one, but thank you.
And you did amazing. And you did amazing. Seriously. It's probably not an easy thing to talk about, always. And just sharing. And again, being available you're giving a good example of what it is to be out there and to share and just to be open to the whole experience, whether it's on this podcast and, talking about it from your point of view, or whether it's going to be on that plane ride to Australia. So we will see you next time. Aloha.
Aloha.